Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Randomania 2. Tonight, we have the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Randomizer Weekly Monday Race. Good evening, everybody. I am Z-Man050778, and with me tonight on the call is Muppets in Space. Muppets, how are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing pretty good. I'm ready for some free Enterprise Fiesta.
Absolutely. Considering how most of this weekend was spent, focusing on the 4-job fiesta through Final Fantasy V, now we're going back to Final Fantasy IV for this wonderful free enterprise randomizer. Now, one of the really nice things tonight, especially that we have going on, is the flags that they are playing with tonight are the flags for the qualifying races for the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise League that is coming up shortly. So, what are some of the highlights we're kind of looking at tonight for these flags, Muppets?
Well, what we're really looking at is a whole lot of overworld and underworld, not a whole lot of moon. This is really just a drop-and-go style of flag setup. You're looking for really early characters, and you're looking for an awful lot of luck really early on with your key items. Just trying to route the overworld and underworld as best you can.
Yeah, exactly. A little more specifically, what we're looking at the J2 flag. So that means the Japanese items are turned on. So what are we going to see? We're going to see the Bacchus wines that'll berserk characters. We're going to see Stardust and Gaia drums, which would be great early. We're going to see... I'm trying to think. We're going to see the Sirens.
Well, let's not forget Big Bombs, Boreas, and Zeus Rage are three big ones there that often get overlooked in that.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to see those items that cast spells that really make the early game trivial. We're also looking at T4S3. T4 means you can find anything in treasure chests. So let's see how many adamant armors we find, how many crystal swords, how many white spears. Yeah. Or now that we have Yang here, how many cat claws.
That's right.
Oh, and it looks like we are... Yep, we're going. So let's see, who's our character that's joining Yang? While we're looking at this, that is Palom.
Yeah. We start with a spoon, so that doesn't really give us any initial trajectory. So it's probably going to be a classic setup going after the Antlion Cave first.
It depends. I think everybody does things a little bit differently. I personally don't do the Antlion Cave first. I find I go to Hobbs first, and then maybe take care of Fabul, and then go to the Antlion. But I think everybody's going to do a little bit different.
Proof is going to be in the pudding.
Yeah, the thing to take an eye out here for now is we are on NFL, or no free lunch. So we're not going to be finding people in the city, or we're not going to be finding people in the Watery Cave or in Damsian. So we do see Silverfire checking out the Baron Inn and the Baron chests right away. It looks like Kane is our character in the Baron Inn, which is very good.
It looks like everyone's actually gone into Baron Town first, just to pick up a lot of treasures right there. We can see there was a dark matter in the upper right-hand corner. I think everyone managed to grab that.
Ooh, an Avenger in Rosa Mom's house. That's awesome. And given that Kane is in the Baron Inn, that Avenger is going to be huge on Kane as the seed goes on.
Now, one of the things to point out is that with the location of the pass, you're going to notice an awful lot of trips to items shops, because the pass is actually going to be a purchasable item in one of these items shops. So you can see that Rexall and Dipwood both went right to the item shop after they saw Kane, just to make sure that the pass wasn't in there.
We do have Star Veils and things in there, and now also do notice that we have a cat claw in the high grass behind Baron. So that's awesome for Yang. That is Yang's best claw.
They go right to equipping it too. Can't wait to equip it. Rexall is all over it.
So now, Dipwood is doing the usual, then go up to Mist, because Mist has quite a few treasures to check that maybe adamant armors, maybe Stardust rods. An early Stardust rod would be awesome here. Meanwhile, Silverfire going to Damsian.
Dipwood has decided to go up to the village of Mist to loot Rydia's house, to some of the treasure chests located behind the fireplace up there. Whereas Silverfire has gone to Damsian to Actually, Silverfire, Scratch Dragon, and Rexall have all gone to the Damsian hidden room for their treasures.
Ooh, Protect Ring. That's big.
Yeah, Protect Ring is going to be huge early on. There isn't a whole lot of damage to be dealt by creatures in the overworld until you get into somewhere around Twin Harp, Earth Crystal, that sort of area.
Now, I'm a little surprised that he didn't equip, or Silverfire, they didn't equip the Protect Ring on Horum. Apparently we got the White Mage, not the Black Mage.
So Dipwood has actually gone to, where is that, Toria?
Toroya. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Toria, yeah. And I actually didn't know about these hidden treasures in the back of Toria until about 2 weeks ago. 13-year-old me would have loathed to know that those were there the whole time.
And actually useful this time is there is an Excalibur back there.
So one of the other things about Toria is that there are 2 item shops, and we see actually in that first item shop one of the biggest, most crucial items in the J2 flag, which is Sirens. You had Sirens for sale in the first right there. Dipwood is currently doing a little inventory clean out right there. Everything must go. This way he has some money so he can buy what he's really looking for, which currently is Stardusts and a couple of Ethers and some Boreas.
Yeah, so this is, Toria is certainly a great place to go shop right now because you do have the Stardust, you do have cabins, you do have the Sirens, and you do have the Coffins. So once you have access to the Underground, the Siren Coffin combination makes for an excellent grind. And we'll get to that as we kind of get to the Underground.
Absolutely. Now, Rexall is actually doing the first of the dungeons that are going to net you a key item. He's doing the Antlion Cave. Whereas Scratch Dragon has gone to Mount Hobbs in search of a new character.
All right, so let's see who we have here on Hobbs. And let's see who we have in the Antlion boss spot.
We got Tella on Hobbs. Ouch.
With Asura, which is, a little sketchy here.
And then we have the CPU fight down in Rexall's stream over there. Now, fun thing is that HP totals stay relatively the same. There's about 1,000 hit points worth of damage that you have to deal between the attacker, the defender, and the CPU in that Antlion spot. So this should be a relatively quick fight with Yang pumping it out with a cat claw.
Yeah, and if you notice, that healer node does 10% heal to the big ball every single time. So he healed the big ball for 83, so that means that the big CPU node has 830 hit points.
And there we see in Scratch Dragon's stream the importance of the J items, especially the aforementioned Boreas, as he pretty much just spammed using Boreases to take down Ashura in about 3 turns. Let's see, now Dipwood's actually going to Mount Hobbs to take care of stuff, while Scratch Dragon is going down to get his first key item in the Antlion Cave.
So the nice thing with the CPU fight is it's not overly dangerous for the most part as long as you have a healer, because the Mazer attack that the attacker node does 10% damage for every hit. So you can take 10 hits before you're dead. You can take 9 hits before you're even in any danger. So I would think a lot of times most people will be able to get 9 or 10, 8 or 9 attacks in by the time the Mazer really takes you down to critical levels.
Yeah, it really times the fight out for you in that, so you can really set up your strategies there. And what do we get? We get a Sand Ruby in the spot where you normally get a Sand Ruby in the vanilla game.
Just even randomized.
Yeah, right?
So the nice thing about this is now you're going to get another character out of this. So given that the no free lunch flag is on, getting characters early is awesome. So let's see who's in the Sand Ruby spot. Now this is a spot where you could potentially find Fusaya or Edge, who would really make life super simple in the beginning part of this game.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're looking for somebody like that, or maybe even a heavy hitter like Kane. Kane is also a good choice early on. He gains an awful lot of hit points per level, and can equip swords and spears as well as axes.
Yeah, but Kane's at the Baron Inn, so I know there's one dupe always in these flag sets, so it'd take a stroke of luck for this to be the Kane dupe.
But indeed. Oh baby, it's Fu.
Fu. So the thing is with the so this is the F2 flag, so Fu gets spells as you kill bosses, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see Rex hop into the Mist Cave and hop into the Octomom spot to get 2 bosses down right away and get Fu 6 more spells and 200 more hit points.
And over in Scratch Dragon's stream, we just saw him putting those Boreas to work really, really well. Against the CPU fight, he ended up basically 2-shotting it. 1 Boreas and then 1 attack, and wham bam, thank you ma'am, it's over.
All right, so let's see what we have here in Kaipo. We have the pass. The pass is in Kaipo.
I think Rexall just paused for a second to make sure what he saw was actually what he saw. And there he goes. Now he's going to sell out because it's time.
So that could actually be dangerous for our runners. Now, granted, the Sand Ruby is going to point them there anyways, but that Kaipo items shop is one that a lot of racers don't check early and oftentimes will forget to check late game, especially if they have no reason to get there. But given that at least these featured runners, these featured runners are all doing the Antlion Cave relatively early, so they're going to get the Sand Ruby, and I would think head right over to Kaipo. But for those that are off stream that may wait a little while to do the Antlion Cave, that might not be quite so obvious to them.
Yes, and with the pass flag as is, always remember that if the pass is sellable in an item shop, you check all item shops, regardless of whether or not you would normally. And it's doubly important when you're doing a J2 flag to check those item shops, because there is just a plethora of things that you can buy that'll really make it a lot easier, especially early game.
And the one handy thing with Tella, as we can see Scratch Dragon doing, is Tella does have the exit spell, which makes exiting towns a lot quicker.
You can exit towns, you can exit a lot of dungeons very, very fast. There's a choice few that you can't cast the exit spell in, but on those few, there are most of them that you can use the warp spell on if you have a black mage.
And now we're going to take a look at the Baron Inn here. We're going to hopefully get Kane and check out Dragon Lunars. This is a nice spot for Dragon Lunars.
Yeah, absolutely. With the low hit point total, you can pretty much fry him in one shot here. That can be a real trouble spot later on.
Yeah, but given that this is a low HP spot and they are weak to fire, easy peasy.
Totally.
Easy peasy.
So up there in Dipwood stream, we've got him doing the CPU fight right now. He was doing just a regular fight command against CPU, setting him up for the Stardust wipe. If you kill the attacker and defender before you kill CPU, and you give it just a little bit of time, CPU will actually use an ability called Globe 199, which does somewhere in the ballpark of max damage to you.
Oh,
and,
this is a problem.
Wipe you out big time.
This is a problem over here on... Oh, the Boreas cuts through it. Never mind, we're good.
Valvalis has a notorious high magic evade and evade in general. So typically, it's very, very difficult to hit her with anything. Unless you got Kane in your party who can jump, and then when he lands, get her to get out of her tornado form, and that would lower her evade. But apparently in this spot with what would normally be the Yang's Karate spot, there must be a lot less evade.
There has to be. And of course, the game would have to put Kane behind Valvalis just because that's what the game does.
Pretty rude. What do we get? What was Kane holding? Kane's actually secretly a musician. He has the twin harp.
So far, as of yet, we have no access to the underground. We have no Magna Key, we have no hook.
Karate. Dipwood's trying to give Fusoya a pass. Here, wake up. You can go meet Zeromus. No, there's the Sand Ruby.
Scratch Dragon puts that Avenger right on Kane, and
Oh, wow.
can't say as I blame him.
Yeah. Avenger Sword is wonderful. It's very, very high-powered. It's second only to the White Lance in power, I believe. The only caveat is that it berserks you when you have it on, so you have no control over the character, but you can set up some awful fun glitches with that thing.
Yeah. I believe the Dragoon Lance is also more powerful, I think.
They might be comparable, but yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, they're close. They're close. But yeah, the White Lance is certainly better. But the one thing that you can do, and that's especially nice for Zeromus, is if you have the White Lance equipped and then change out into the Avenger, well, you get the attack power of the White Spear plus the Avenger 1.5x Berserk on top of it, which is awesome.
It also retains the properties of the weapon that you put on it. So because the White Lance is wholly elemental and absolutely wrecks Zeromus, you get the racial bonus against him with that too. So it's not just times 1.5, it's actually times 2.5, if I'm not mistaken.
There you go. And, you know, the ultimate effect is to have Cecil with a crystal sword switch into the Avenger, and then you watch him absolutely wreck Zeromus.
So the King of Baron had an adamant. It gets us no closer to the underground and no closer to a crystal.
So as of right now, it looks like our progression into the underworld is either in Mount Ordeals or it is in the Twin Harp Cave.
Yeah, that's all we got, huh? So let's see, now Dipwood and Rexall are both doing the Fabul fight. Pretty much everyone's on par with everyone else here. They're just doing things a little bit out of order from each other, but it looks like they're all kind of funneling back to the same place in the end.
Yeah, given how linear this progression is, that doesn't surprise me. Maybe we'll see a little bit more branching once we get into the underworld, but for right now, this is very, very linear.
Mm-hmm. And for those linear style seeds, what really, really makes the difference, what can really save you the time, is correct and often use of the J items. If you've been using Gaia Drums, Boreas, that sort of thing, if you've been pumping them out, you're going to be just a little bit ahead of everyone else. As you can see, Scratch Dragon is actually done with both of the things that Silverfire, Dipwood, and Rexall have done. And he's ready to move on, whereas the other three are not too far behind, but just a little bit behind.
Right. And it looks like we've got Scratch Dragon going to Mount Ordeal, so he's going to check out the triple boss here up on Mount Ordeals.
Now, Scratch Dragon was thinking about buying some stuff in Silveria down there, the little island town, but he opted against it and is just going straight for Mount Ordeals. I'm sure it's because he knows he already has the pass, so he doesn't have to do any shopping there.
Well, I mean, he's seen the pass, he's seen sirens, he's seen coffins, he's seen cabins.
That's right.
And he's seen, a bunch of spellcasting items. So really, what would he be looking for? Probably life spells or life potions. That's probably the only thing he'd be looking for at this point.
That's right. That's right. This is one of those things where he probably did it out of habit, and I can't really speak for the runner, but I know what I do sometimes is I go on automatic mode because I'm used to checking all of the item shops. But as long as you keep your head about you and you make sure that you know where you're at, the tracker always helps. You can really save yourself some time by just avoiding most of those shops. You'll notice that nobody actually has gone shopping in any of the armor shops or any of the weapon shops. Because it's a T4 seed, they're going to be getting most of the things that they would normally equip out of treasures, random treasures, so they don't feel the need to spend as much time in a weapon shop. Ooh, Rubison.
And Fusuya unlocked the white spell. Good night, Ruby. Hey, Ruby Cat, eat this! This is going to be fun.
Now, here's the thing about the white spell. It takes a little bit of time to cast that thing, and in that time, Kane might actually do away with him with the Avenger Sword. Oof.
Nope.
Oh, no, never mind. There it is.
And goodbye.
Casual 6K. Casual 6K. It's nothing to sneeze at right there.
No, not at all. And meanwhile, by the way, as you were saying, the first boss here was Odin, and Kane pretty much slaughtered Odin single-handedly.
Mm-hmm.
The nice thing with the Avenger Sword is it does give, I believe, a 10-point boost to agility. So, early game, it's just, it's just death. It's instant death to everything.
So the fun thing about Mount Ordeals with the current flag setup is because you have the Fusoya Challenge, that F2 flag up there, every boss that you defeat increases Fusoya's magic as well as his hit point total. And there are 3 bosses. Oh, there's the Hook, by the way. So we have our path to the underground from Mount Ordeals, and it's the Hook. It's a hook seed, everybody. It's a hook seed. There are 3 bosses. 3 bosses in Mount Ordeals, and that will increase Fusoya's hit points by 300 and give him 9 more spells.
Now, it'll be interesting to see what Scratch Dragon decides to do here. Does he go to Cave Magnus to maybe get a Magna Key from the Dark Elf spot, or does he just, suck it up and go through Eblon, and that Rubicant boss spot can be an absolute troll depending on who's there.
I believe does that spot have 20,000 hit points? Is that the count?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. Because the last race I did, the last seed I did, it was the CPU fight there, and the large CPU node had 21,000 by itself. So
yuck. All right, so I'm interested in what Scratch Dragon's going to choose to do here.
I wouldn't blame him one bit.
Route and see what Twin Harp is all about.
That's what I would do, and hope for the Magna Key, because you don't want, if you don't have to deal with that Rubicant boss spot, you really don't want to. So I would check Cave Magnus first, but that could be a waste of time.
Well, and there is one other thing about that area, too. A common strategy that I've seen when you have a hook seed is there are 2 trapped chests down there. There's a trapped chest in Cave Eblon, and then there's a trapped chest of 4 mad ogres down in the lower part of the Tower of Babel. And when you hit those, I watch people actually fight those for experience enough and even do a little bit of life duping to grab as much experience out of the fight as they can, so to set them up to defeat that Rubicant spot.
Given that the Sirens are here, I'm a little surprised we haven't seen any Lilith fighting up on the summit of Mount Ordeals. Because if you use the Sirens up on the summit of Mount Ordeals, you'll get 2 Liliths, which I believe give you 50 experience per battle. And given that you have Yang and Kane, they go down super quick.
Yeah. So it looks like Scratch Dragon has gotten himself a hovercraft, and it looks like he is going to just suck it up and go down into Cave Eblon. Meanwhile, Silverfire has decided to go to Cave Magnus to see what's behind there. So here we're starting to see a little bit of splitting.
Yeah, if this Magnus Cave gives the Magma Key or the Crystal, Silverfire's definitely going to take a lead among the broadcasted runners.
So over here we have Dipwood up on Mount Ordeals taking care of business up there, and down on the lower right-hand corner, Rexall has just gotten Kane. And so now he's configuring Kane with what he feels to be is the best equipment he possibly can get. And of course, that means Avenger Sword time.
And here we are. We do have Bacchus. Bacchus is available for purchase here in Eblon.
As well as life
potions.
One often overlooked thing is Cure 3s as well. Cure 3s can be a big game changer, especially in the final fight. When you don't have access to elixirs, you drop a Cure 3 after a nuke counter, and you can be mostly all right.
All right, so.
Oh yeah, we.
So if our wonderful choreographer, the tie-dye guy, could switch audio over to Silverfire real quick, we'll actually be able to listen to what the Twin Harp song is, because that is randomized.
While we're waiting for that to happen, we're noticing that Silverfire is actually attacking himself right now. That's because he's trying to avoid a costly text box, which he's just done. You're supposed to lose that fight. And here we go. So here we are. This is Silverfire's stream that we're listening to right now. What's the song going to be?
While we're waiting for that real quick, I do notice that in the Cave of Eblon, Scratch Dragon's picking up some of the chests and did get a mass immune for Edge if he happens to find Edge. Wait.
Super Mario World, ladies and gentlemen. That is
yes, it is.
I love this game. It's just so catchy. You can't help it.
This is it. And it's really well done for the 16-bit harp. That's awesome.
All right, we've got King Queen Eblon as our Dark Elf fight. Should be relatively easy, as they only have an AI that does two things, Fire 2 and Fire 1, as well as, because the No Free Lunch Flag 1 is on, that means that some of the fights can still be free, including this one.
Yeah, technically, Silverfire doesn't even have to do anything to win this fight, although it's often a little quicker to kill people. And Sid is in Eblon.
Yeah, let's see what Scratch Dragon does with Sid right here. And he's tossing Tella right away. He doesn't want that Tella life.
Yep, goodbye, Tella. And you know what? I think that's the perfect choice.
It's I certainly don't blame him.
Are we going to get Archer Sid?
It looks like he doesn't care for Archer Sid. Leap! Alright, so now Scratch Dragon is, you're starting to see him ignore treasure chests. I think he's kind of in go, go, go mode to get to the underground at this juncture.
Right. Well, Silverfire is waiting for Queen Eblon to die so they can go check out what the crystal is in Cave Magnus.
Now I get Berserk on Forum. Oh well, that's fine.
Alright, so Fusoya unlocks White up in Silverfire's area. And our key item is the Tower Key. Oh, it is a mandatory hook seed, ladies and gentlemen. There is no getting around it. You are going through Eblon Cave.
Absolutely. But the nice thing about doing Cave Magnus is if you now have to go up through the underground section of Babel, it's a one trip shot. Because now you can do the Babel boss and the Tower Key all at the same time, which really does save a bunch of time, because climbing up that Babel is a pain in the rectum.
Absolutely. Not to mention just going back up and back down the underground access hole. Just that flight can take about 25-30 seconds. It adds up over time if you have to keep going up and down and up and down.
Uh-oh.
Youch! So down there, we see in Scratch Dragon's stream that Ogo Pogo is the boss that he has to defeat. And
this is bad.
Boss, right?
Yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, that boss has an awful lot of attack power. I don't know why it does, because that's normally where you see King and Queen Eblon.
Yeah, this is that. This is not good.
Very, very fast fight. And so I think Scratch Dragon is going to have to rethink his strategy here. And he might even go out and do yep, there's the reset. He might even go out and do a little bit of grinding. Just so that he can get through this. Or he's going to try it again.
Is there a way out of this particular part of Babel once you get in?
There absolutely is. The same way that you got in. You jump back over the same tile that you jumped back into.
Right.
I tested that on a whim once, and it totally works. So you can back out of just about anywhere in this game.
So anybody that chooses to do a little Lilith grinding on ordeals before heading down here, they're going to be in the lead.
Yeah, quite possibly. It depends on Scratch Dragon's RNG right here. He's decided that he's... Well, actually, he doesn't know what he's decided. He's trying to assess what he can do about this. Looking through his inventory, and he's gone Moonveil.
Yeah,
now,
that's
moon veils are very, very interesting because moon veils not only raise a wall, but it also raises your physical evade.
yeah. So this way, I'm a little surprised Scratch Dragon doesn't just try to absolutely wipe the thing out with white.
I believe Ogopogo will actually counter all magic with Blaze, and he might absorb white.
Oh, that's a good point. I forgot about the Blaze counter.
I feel like Scratch Dragon's fight with Ogopogo actually kind of has me riveted right now. And he's down.
Got him.
Fantastic. So King Queen Eblon doesn't have a huge hit point total, but it's enough to make a problem with a boss like that. And we have Calbraina in the Rubicent spot, which could be very fortunate to have all of those hit points divided among 6 individual characters.
7 if you count the big doll.
7 if you count the big doll, that's right.
So this is where all Woe Stardust, all the Boreas, just any multi-target attack you have will do wonders.
See what he's got here. He's looking for a multi-target anything. He's pumping out a Lit 2. I think he wasn't banking on them having as many hit points as they do. Here's another Boreas. Okay, that's going to get rid of one of the Cals. Or is that one of the Brainas?
The orange ones are the Brainas, the gray ones are the Cals.
Copy that. Copy that.
Meanwhile,
Now,
Dipwood
Big
is...
Doll could actually be a problem. If he gets Big Doll, that's going to be a real nightmare to deal with.
Yeah, because that big doll will hit like a tank at this spot. But I don't think he's going to get there. I don't think.
Well, there's only 3 cows left, and they've all done their moves, so all he's got left is what he's got queued up, and then it's Big Doll time. It's going to be really close. There's no way.
There's no way. There's no way. We're going to see the big Calbraina doll, I would imagine.
Still pumping out those big bombs, and there's Big Doll. Big Doll with a big diaper, and he is nasty.
Ow. Ow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to take a punch to the face by this thing.
So what did he have Fusoya queue up there?
I didn't catch it. I would think it'd be a white. Oh, glance and I'm confused. Yeah, why not?
The bigger problem right there is that glance is a confusion attack. At least it wasn't Fusoya that was glanced. Casual white for what was that? 4,000 damage.
4,000 damage. Calbraina still lives.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just hitting really, really hard.
Let's see if two whites down the Calbraina.
Kane's pumping out the damage with that Avenger sword.
Oh,
and
no.
This is really rough. Calbraina runs out of power and splits back up. So now he's got to rethink his strategy. And with a berserked Kane in front and a confused Sid, well, not anymore. That's going to make this fight incredibly difficult.
So, this is a little trolley now that we got going on here.
So, going back, Dipwood has decided that he wants some more treasures, so he's going to one of the side rooms in Taraya Castle. There are 3 rooms, one of which gives you a ton of treasures if you have the Earth Crystal, but this one, a lesser talked about one, but equally important, has 8 treasure chests that you can just get access to at any point in time, including the beginning of the game. You see him drop down that exit so he doesn't have to walk all the way back.
Oh, no. We're down to 2 Cals. Oh, no.
And Scratch is still trying to Still trying to take care of business down there, and it's going to be rough goings, I think.
Oh, and back to the Calbrena, which means the Calbrena restores HP. Oh, yep, it's got to reset. Got to reset.
So now Scratch has got to rethink his strategy. He reduces his battle speed, so he has a little bit more time between each action in order to think and input his commands, which could actually be the difference in this Calbrena fight, as a single second could be the difference between killing the final Cal and having to deal with the big doll with the big diaper.
Yeah, but first you have to get through Ogopogo.
First you have to get through Ogopogo again. Yeah, and JLo, exactly. Dropping the battle speed is a very nice move, and it's not something that a lot of runners really get into the intricacies of. You can reduce your battle speed as much as to, I believe, 6 is the minimum battle speed, 1 being the fastest. It's preset to 1, but you can reduce it all the way down a little bit so that it gives you some more time. The fights are a little bit slower, but it could actually end up saving you time by allowing you to input a crucial command that actually ends the fight.
Trenton asking, could there any more bosses that he could go beat to maybe get Fu a spell like Nuke? Well, yeah, if he went back, he could absolutely take care of the Mist Dragon and the Octomon spot. That would help him get, Nuke.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that strategy.
Not yet.
The good thing is you have a full HP MP restore before this fight. The bad thing is that it's Calbrena in Rubus's spot.
Even Quake would help out for this fight.
Absolutely. In fact, I would rather have Quake personally than Nuke.
For this fight, for the Calbrena fight, Quake, absolutely. Quake would be the lifesaver here, or Meteo. I mean, Meteo takes a while to cast, but I'm pretty sure it would knock out
absolutely
everybody all at once.
Well, the importance about Quake and even Meteo is that unlike multi-targeting elemental spells or virus or anything like that, Quake does not split damage because it is inherently multi-target. So you're going to do about 2,500 to 3,000 to each individual target.
Right.
And down in Rexall's stream, we see him pick up Sid and say, "Bye-bye, Tella. It's been nice knowing you, not."
Ooh, Silverfire going to that chest that not everybody picks up and gets a rune axe. So
wow.
now once they find Sid, that rune axe is going to be huge.
So rune axe is actually Sid's best piece of offensive equipment. And there are some bosses in this game that are very, very susceptible to attacks from Rune Axe. Gives them, I believe, ×4 damage.
Against those that are classified as quote-unquote mages, yes.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, and Rexall did actually pick up the Rune Axe as well.
So Scratch Dragon is down to his final Cal, and he's gotten through the Calbrena fight.
Oh, that's a pain in the tuchus.
Well, I'm very interested to see how the other 3 deal with that fight, because that was not easy.
Well, I think
go ahead. Actually, the fight that could actually end up being a huge time saver and bring them just a little bit closer.
Yeah, I was going to say I think the other 3 are going to have a little bit of an easier time with it. Number 1, because Silverfire is going to have an easier time because they actually did the extra Cave Magnus, so Fu has a few more extra spells, and on top of it, they have the Rune Axe equipped with Sid, so Sid's not useless.
Yeah, Sid being able to deal damage is super, super crucial. It's not just an open slot.
And from the trapped chest in the Cave of Eblon, we get the Dragoon Spear.
Ooh, nice. Very good spear for Kane.
Which is actually better than the Avenger by 17 points.
Huh, no kidding. All right, so down in Rexall's stream, we're seeing the trap chest fight in the lower Babil, the Mad Ogre fight. Finding this is actually going to prove to be really, really important for him, I think, because of the experience gain that he's going to get across the board.
And let's see what item he gets from the chest.
It's just a silver sword. Womp womp. But
All
the
right.
experience is the real, it's the real reward.
So, Scratch Dragon making his way down into the fame mark. Let's see what item we get here.
So once you get down into the underground, there are a couple of places that most every runner just goes to immediately because they are free. The first place is the Fame Arch, and that's because not only are you going to be getting a free key item where you would normally see the rat tail in vanilla, but there are also a ton of safe treasure chests that you can pick up around here, because none of them can have any traps to them. There's only one trap chest in the entire Fame Arch. Oh. And that's a 5-warrior fight, and we just saw Scratch Dragon's reward for going down into the Fame Arch is the magma key that he does not need.
Yeah, at that point, I would be flipping the game off something fierce. If the first item I get on the way to, at once in the underworld is a magma key, that's a giant. Hey, game, yeah, go sit and spin on this.
And just for insult to injury, he goes ahead and picks up a dark matter on the way.
And it looks like we have Bahamut, and that's either going to be the Water Hag or that's going to be the Fabul Gauntlet down here.
Now, it's interesting that he looked at those spots because you might be thinking, why would it matter? You don't get a key item from either of them. Well, the funny thing about this particular flag setup is that if you happen to beat the Mist Dragon anywhere, there will open up Rydia's deceased mother in the Collar of Mist, my apologies, in the town of the Collars of Mist, and you can get a key item from her.
Yeah, and one of the fears, let's say fears, one of the fears of most runners here is that you get the crystal behind Rydia's mom, and the Mist Dragon is on the moon in the Giant of Babil.
Somewhere not accessible.
Yeah, somewhere fun. Odin fight. Yeah.
And now we see Scratch Dragon's hungry for omelets. He's gone to a very important area, and he's got his sirens and he's ready to grind. He's decided to do this before he has 10 key items. With the X2 flag, if you have 10 or more key items, it doubles the amount of experience that you get from every fight. But right now, he's decided that he's going to use his sirens, and he's going to grind out. Sirens are very, very good because what they can do is, on whatever tile set you are standing on, it immediately enters you into the rare encounter set for that tile. And in this, we know that there are yellow dragon eggs. Yellow dragon eggs are important because they each give you 32,000 experience, is it?
34.
34,000 experience, that's right. And with Kane with a Dragon Lance, he can one-shot them no problem, even at a lower level.
Yep.
And this is a short grind for him because he wants enough levels to survive whatever's down here.
Yeah, because once you get through, well, I mean, really, once you get to Cave Eblon, the boss difficulty starts scaling up, and it starts scaling up relatively quickly. So now it's like, all right, we got some big things here. Let's do a little grinding. Let's make this a safe battle.
All right, up in Dipwood's stream, we're looking at the Ogopogo fight right now. It is not going well for him. He just wiped to a double big wave.
And Rexroll is going to save after beating Ogopogo.
Outstanding move. Outstanding move. Scratch Dragon is fighting what normally would be the Calbrena fight, and it looks like it is Baron Guard's fight, the Baron Soldier's fight from defending Rydia in the Kaipo Inn.
Mm-hmm. It is the Kaipo Inn fight. So really, the only question about this fight isn't necessarily, is he going to win? Because, yeah, this fight's easy. But the question is, how much experience do you get? Do you try to go after the extra experience for killing the officer, or do you just off the soldiers and let the officer run?
With the X2 flag on, I don't typically see people caring too much about the experience gains that they get from these boss battles because they're just going to go grind it out anyway.
Right.
But you never know. It might actually make the difference. We see him doing some row shenanigans. It looks like he actually cares here.
I think he's going to... Yep, there goes the retreat.
There it is. It's a retreat. So only gets 11,000. Shucks. And Silverfire is now up there doing his Ogopogo fight, and he's using Bacchus Wines in addition to that Avenger Sword to really pump out the physical damage.
Yep. Makes perfect sense to me. Now let's see. Rexroll is on the Calbrena fight. Meanwhile...
Rexroll has decided that he's going to start single targeting things, but it looks like it's a little too late. As all of the Brainas are out, and he's got 3 Cals staring at him, and it foretells a giant baby in a giant diaper.
So Dipwood, looks like Dipwood did a little bit of grinding on green dragon eggs in the tower there.
Interesting.
Meanwhile, down in Scratch Dragon's neck of the woods, we have Dr. Lugay and Golbez's.
Dr. Spitball. Gotta
Pretty
love
much.
him.
All right, so let's see how this Calbrena fight goes for Rexroll. Or Rex
We've
Raoul,
actually
I
got
suppose.
a Calbrena fight up in Silverfire's stream as well.
Oh, and we found our duplicate character. It is Tella. Oh, looks like Rex didn't get the Calbrena killed in enough time, so they reverted back to Calbrena. Is anybody going to be able to one-shot this battle, or is everybody going to wipe once to it? All right, so let's see what key item we get here in the Dwarven Castle. We get... Drum roll, please. The Darkness Crystal.
Hey! Now, the Darkness Crystal is pretty cool because you can get a free character out of it, as well as access to a shop, a little-known shop on the moon. In a K1 seed, that's about all you have to look forward to.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if you go through that long cutscene just to maybe get access to another character. I mean, looking at Scratch Dragon Party right now, it's Sid, it's Yang, it's Kane, all of which are perfectly fine characters for a Zeromus fight. And Fusoya, great character. And then Poro. So I'm wondering if maybe you go up to the moon and hope you get a Rosa? And, let Rosa be your...
maybe.
Yeah. Or maybe get a Palom and, let Palom be your black mage and Fu be your white mage?
Now, Scratch Dragon's doing something that is the second part of the free walk here. When you talk to Yang and attempt to give him something down there in the Sylvan Cave, you can go back up to Sheila in... oh, my goodness. I totally blanked in Fabu. And Sheila will actually give you 1 key item just for talking to him.
Yep. And it looks like Silverfire does get through the Calbrena first shot. And Rex is not far behind, and he does it.
Silverfire gets the Corvette of airships and right up the tower. He is not wasting any time. He has the tower key, and so he says, I'm here already, let's do this thing.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with this call on Silverfire's part. You're right here, let's go do it.
It can be a little bit risky depending on what level you're at, because Dr. Luge's spot does have a decent amount of hit points, and you can get trolled really hard by something like Golbez in that spot. Yeah.
Although
But if you get some good luck, this will actually turn out to be a big time save for him.
Yeah, and the tower key spot, the super cannon spot, usually pretty free. I missed what item Sheila gave us.
I missed it as well. It looks like Baron Key. It looks like Baron Key was what it was.
There we go.
So in Dr. Luge's spot, we have Derek. Hey, Mr. Derek Mist is here.
Uh-oh. Well, this could be big, because now this Tower of Babel goes from a 2-item spot to a 3-item spot, because this Mist Dragon opens up the item you get from Rydia's mom.
And this diversion between Silverfire and Scratch Dragon might actually be the difference in this race. We get to see how it pans out. Scratch Dragon is right now doing easy boss fighting to level up Fusoya to full power. The aforementioned easy boss grind that we were talking about to get Fusoya an extra couple hundred hit points as well as 6 spells.
Yeah. Billbotics asking in chat, is this K3? No, this is K1. This is the same flags we're using for the league qualifying races that are happening pretty soon.
So Derek Mist is hitting marginally hard, but it's not anything that Silverfire can't handle, given his party setup right now. He just has to wait for him to do the turn to mist trick, and that's a perfect time to drop down a little healing.
Except you don't want to attack, because then it... Oh, never mind.
Well, this could actually be a problem, because if I'm not mistaken, Kane has himself an Avenger sword on, and Yang might actually be berserked.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it. That cold mist isn't hitting for much, though.
It's not the fact that the cold mist hits hard. It's the fact that it takes so much time for the animation, and it stops ATB every single time, which also stops the timer that gets demist back up. Scratch Dragon is down in Baron right now, and he is about to fight Dark Knight Cecil.
Shouldn't be difficult to absorb 3 blows from Dark Knight Cecil.
Dark Knight Cecil's battle power for that Dark Wave is based on his hit point total, I believe. It's a fractional of his hit point total.
Uh-oh.
Well,
there you go.
Well, just burned through him like a hot knife through butter. See, Silverfire is locked in a cold mist battle right now up there, and you can see it's been about 2 minutes, and he is still waiting for demist to come back around. You can really lose an awful lot of time if you recklessly berserk yourself against demist, and you don't have the DPS to get him in 1 round. Here he goes. Now he gets ready to fight again.
Meanwhile, Scratch Dragon taking on the evil wall in Kainatsu's spot. Dipwood still struggling to get through the Calbrena fight. It looks like Rex is just about to do the Dwarf Castle.
Sid goes down.
There we go.
And Derek Mist goes down. So Silverfire gets rid of Derek Mist, gets a bunch of levels for the people who are still standing, and the key item is the Legend Sword. Hooray.
About the only good thing there is you get another Excalibur.
Down in Scratch Dragon's stream, we see that Rydia was waiting for them. And it looks like he's considering... he dismisses Sid in place of Rydia.
Well, that's interesting, but unless Scratch has sold it, he does have the Bahamut summon. So...
He does have Bahamut.
The only reason you would keep Rydia is specifically for the Bahamut summon at this point.
Absolutely.
We have Mom Bomb in the tower.
Ah, Mom Bomb. So that's going to take the maximum amount of time because, fun fact that I just learned recently, when you do enough damage to Mom Bomb to jet him up like a big Stay Puft Marshmallow Woman, he gets 10,000 hit points, I believe.
Something like that.
If you are able to do 10,000 hit points worth of damage, you can beat him before Mom Bomb explodes, but otherwise Mom Bomb will explode into 6 smaller bombs. It's not really threatening in this spot, but it does eat some time. Oh, he did it!
All right, so Scratch Dragon going up to kill the Mist Dragon, but does not yet have the tower key.
All right, Silverfire's going to make his long march down the Tower of Babel at this point, and when the Enterprise finally catches him, we're going to see what what Silverfire's next key item is.
We're starting to run out of spots here.
Starting to. I don't think it's a 17 out of 17 just yet, but we're getting there.
We're getting there.
I hate to say this, but I might be a bit of a curse.
Oh, how's that?
Oh well, the first one I ever commented on ended up being a 17 of 17. Oh, there's Dipwood going after the Ugapogo fight yet again. He's getting whacked down by some big wave. He's just struggling with that ruby spot, and it is a bad one at that.
All right, so what do we get here from the
key item?
pan?
The pan, which he's going to go right back to Yang in the Sylvan Cave and give him a good whack over the head with. So down in Scratch's stream, we might actually see a different strat for D-Myth. He parries with Porum to start with, and he's looking for, yes. He's looking for a spell. He decides to go with Nuke.
Yeah. This is going to be a significantly quicker battle.
It's going to be a lot easier. He decided not to do any Berserk so that he doesn't have to eat a whole bunch of Cold Mist counters. All he has to do is sit there and wait. He's going to go ahead and leap with Kane.
Now, of course, we don't have, or he doesn't have any MP yet for Rydia, so... Uh-oh.
Wow, he's fast.
That's fast.
So up in Silverfire's stream, he's decided to go back to the land of summoned monsters. In fact, no, he didn't go there.
He hasn't.
He went right to the tower first.
They haven't been there yet. Sorry, Silver.
That's right. So Silverfire's actually going to do the free walks now. Is going to grab the chest, which normally has the rat tail in it, as well as talk to Yang to grab himself, to grab Silverfire's a key item from Sheila.
Actually, they're going to get the 2 key items from Sheila because they do have the pan from the tower key.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That ends up being a pretty big move, getting the twin harp.
And a real big time save.
And a huge time save. That's actually going to separate Scratch Dragon from Silverfire. And we see Dipwood going for some blink strats against Ogopogo right now. Because he's just hitting like mad. Just hitting like a truck over there. He's trying to do enough physical damage to take care of this fight. He knows he gets a free heal after the fight. So he's just got to get through this one.
Right.
And there's another nuke for Scratch Dragon down against D-Myth. Still not down. Up. And now he's down.
A little disappointed, I'm sure, that he didn't get any experience in that battle for Rydia, but it is what it is.
Now Rexall just went and checked some of the pots down underneath the Dwarf Castle and netted himself a White Lance. So that's a lesser known area, and it could be really crucial. You can get some big stuff down there.
Yeah, and the White Lance is Kane's best weapon. So Kane is really well set now for the Zeromus fight.
Yeah, it's going to be crucial.
All right, so what do we have here from Rydia's mom? We have... Crystal.
It's the crystal, everyone. It's the crystal. Silverfire is now in go mode.
Yep, Silverfire is grind and go.
Why is it always that Rydia's mother is the one? Why is it always?
But hey, at least it's not a 17 out of 17 seed.
Absolutely, and as a matter of fact, Scratch Dragon is going to find that it's not too terribly punishing to have not done the Twin Harp, because all you had to do was climb the tower, beat the Mist Dragon, get the crystal.
Yep. So it looks like, yep, Silver's going to go do some egg scrambling themselves.
Now, Dipwood, up in our top right corner, decided to use a little bit of a different strat to get through Ogopogo and Calbrena using Grimoire. The Grimoire does a random summon, and he got a D-Mist summon that blew the Cals all away. Got him right through that fight, finally.
Well, hey, whatever you need to do sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, yep, and Silverfire's going to go make some omelet, as is Scratch Dragon. Scratch Dragon is now grinding. Doesn't have the crystal yet, so actually, at this juncture, Silverfire is way ahead.
Though, if those Scratch is a little ahead in the grind process, and if Scratch does go to Rydia's mom relatively quickly after grinding is done, this is going to be close between the two of them.
It could very well be close. Silverfire's going to eat a thunder counter because Kane is just really, really fast. You always have to watch out when you're doing this grind fight. If you've got the Avenger Sword on Kane, you get back attacked, Kane all of a sudden is doing minimal damage against that thing. You can hatch yourself into some serious trouble, eat some thunder counters, and even a couple of physical shots from that thing.
Yeah.
He's throwing caution to the wind, though, and he's just going for it. 1,600 damage. That'll get you most of the way there. I believe that the Dragon Egg / Yellow D has 1,800 hit points.
Give or take, yeah. It's like 1,800, 1,850, something like that, yeah.
18 and some change. So now it's really just a grind off between Silverfire and Scratch Dragon.
And I am keeping an eye on the SRL channel because this isn't just a race between these four. We do have plenty of racers in this community race tonight.
Yeah, Z-Man, how many racers do we have in this one tonight?
If I'm looking correctly, I think it's 27.
Yowzer.
Yeah, I think it's 26 or 27.
So you see up in Silverfire's stream, they just switched Sid and Kane. Now, why would that matter, Z-Man? Why would you care whether or not Kane is in the center slot as opposed to the top slot?
Well, it all has to do with agility. Now, normally, the game calculates everybody's agility based off of Cecil, because Cecil in the vanilla game is a character that never once leaves your party. So all agilities are relative based off of Cecil. Yes, they do have hard numbers for agility, but there is still some basing. All the ATB bars are based off of Cecil. Okay? Without Cecil in your party, the game then defaults to whoever is in the middle spot. That is who the agility is based off of. So, Ideally, if you don't have Cecil in your party, you want somebody with a relatively low agility in that middle spot. But when you go to fight Zeromus, you want to have somebody with an agility of either 14, 28, or 42, or just one, or like a 15, a 29, or a 43. Whole lot of confusing explanation, but basically Zeromus is slowest whenever the agility of your agility anchor is in a multiple of 14 or ever so slightly above.
It's like a rotating wheel, basically. 14 is basically his 0, and so 15 is his 1, and so on and so forth.
And we do have our first finisher. Nirm has finished in first place with official SRL time of 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 18 seconds. Good job to Nirm.
Congratulations, Niram. And the aforementioned 14 agility is exactly what Silverfire is looking at with Sid over there. Just checking right in the end of the grind fight to make sure that Sid's agility is right where Silverfire wants it to be.
So I'm thinking Sid's taking a dirt nap.
Yeah, I have a feeling that Sid's going down. There's 2,600.
There he goes.
Good night.
Night, Sid.
All right, now there's that Dragoon Lance. Getting the racial bonus damage against the Dragon Egg. Hitting the poor egg for 6,500. It's so satisfying. Rexroll has decided to take this opportunity to go down and see what is behind the Twin Harp.
Hey, meanwhile,
So we've got 3 grinders and Rexroll doing Twin Harp.
All right, so now the question becomes, when is Silverfire going to stop their grind? Are they looking to get Porom up to 2,000 HP, or are they looking to get Porom Cure 4? It's going to be interesting to see where they stop their grind.
Yeah, definitely. In these kinds of races, if you spend too much time grinding, you're really going to grind yourself out several places. We saw Dipwood actually do a little bit of the grinding up there, top right corner, with coffins. A little bit of a different way to do that grind. Coffins are an instant death. They automatically cast Fatal, which the yellow dragon eggs are susceptible to every time. The animation is just a little bit longer than a straight fight, but it gets the job done safely and effectively.
Well, Silverfire looks like they're headed up to Zeromus.
Oh, is it go time?
Looks like.
Got the Avenger Sword on, Dragoon Lance. Now, we were talking about the Avenger Sword being a little bit glitchy in the when you have a weapon equipped like the Dragoon Lance, and then you switch to the Avenger Sword, it does retain the attack power of whatever you switched from, but only if you attack with that weapon first. So he's going to do one attack, and then he's going to switch to the Avenger Sword, and then it's go, go, go. And the importance of the Avenger Sword is doubly because the Avenger Sword gives you a berserk that Black Hole, Zeromus's big other ability other than Big Bang, will not get rid of.
These Zugs, who's winning? Right now, Silverfire has a lead, but Scratch Dragon did get the crystal from... Scratch Dragon did get the crystal from Rydia's mom, so...
Oh, man, it's down to the wire.
Yeah, this is going to be a super close race between Silverfire and Scratch Dragon. Scratch Dragon might be set up for a marginally quicker fight because of Rydia's Bahamut, but we shall see.
Silverfire's got the levels, though.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be wicked, wicked close. I'm putting my money on Silverfire. How about you? Gentleman's wager. You take Scratch Dragon, I take Silverfire.
All right, gentleman's wager, absolutely.
Gentleman's wager, sir. Love this. Would we mind cutting the audio to Silverfire?
All right, so let's see. Who is Zeromus tonight? Ooh, the Phantom Train. Too bad we don't have 7 to
Outstanding.
suplex it. Randomizer 3,
Outstanding.
thank you for the raid.
So right there, we just saw Silverfire use a web. One of the J items on Trainmus, right there. That casts slow, and it's also going to net him a nuke counter. Now, why is that important?
Well, the slow will keep Trainmus's speed in check. But the nuke counter, well, he can't eat too many nuke counters here, because if it nukes Porum or Fusoya, Silver's going to have a bad time.
Absolutely. Now, the nuke counter is really, really important for this fight, because whenever Zeromus casts nuke, right before Zeromus does the Big Bang, it cuts the Big Bang power in half, I believe.
Even less in some
Even
cases.
less sometimes. Yeah. Even less. It renders it pretty ineffective, which is one of the strats that is more commonly used in this fight at lower levels, especially in the vanilla speed runs, I believe. That strat is used once or twice.
But notice
As you can see, what it did to Fusoya there, about 460 damage instead of somewhere in the vein of 1,500.
Now, Scratch Dragon has gone with a little bit of a different strat here. Scratch Dragon put up a Moon Veil, I believe, on Yang. So Scratch Dragon's going to bounce spells off of Yang to hit Trainmus and not get the nuke counter.
Whoa! Bad damage rolls for Scratch Dragon there. Porum goes down as well as Rid.
Yep, Scratch Dragon's in trouble here. This has all the makings of a wipe to Z fight.
Meanwhile, Silverfire is up there doing the work against Zeromus. Just waiting for Zeromus's Big Bang, I think. Making sure that got Porum ready to heal. I believe Scratch Dragon's all in with Yang Kane. Just doing this 3-man.
It's doable. It's doable.
It's got the HP for it. 4,800 on Yang.
It's going
That
to
might
take
actually
longer.
get it done.
It's going to take longer, but it's doable.
There's the nuke counter on Trainmus.
Yeah, as long as there isn't a high damage roll to Fu here, or any time, it should be doable.
Yo, crit. The Silverfire just bides their time, waiting for that chance to drop a Cure 4. God, this is going to be so close.
I think Silverfire's starting to pull away, given that they can put more damage out than Scratch Dragon.
Just a little. Goes up and queues up a Silk Web. Fun thing about this game is that slow stacks twice.
It does.
Oh, that's a nuke counter on Porum.
Rip.
Oh, Porum goes down. That's real bad. That's real bad. He's going to use a life potion on Porum. That may not actually get the job done if Trainmus ends up queuing up a Big Bang, and there it is.
Uh-oh. Well, at least this Big Bang should be nerfed if it was timed right.
It could be. It is not. And Sid goes down. All that's left is Kane, Yang, Fusoya. Down in Scratch Dragon's channel, Fusoya is down too, so he's all in with Kane, Yang, Berserked.
Ladies and gentlemen in chat, now you can see why we call Fusoya Uncle Mop. Because he looks very much like a mop.
Or maybe a fried egg at this point.
He's Uncle Mop.
Yes, sir. Oh, nuke on Kane, and Kane goes down at his Yang solo. He's trying to scrabble up there. He goes ahead and throws on a life potion on Porum. That could actually get it done. Looking for something, anything to make sure that he can get through this.
Uh-oh.
There's the shake. Cure 4 is a very fast spell. Might be able to get that off. Oh, no.
Nope.
And there's the reset. That
There's
sucks.
the reset. Yeah, because he knows. Nope, that's a nope.
Meanwhile, Silverfire eats nuke from Fusoya there. Still going to town. This could be the end right here. for Trainmus.
I would think that Trainmus here is nearly in the medial phase. I would think. I mean, Silverfire's done an awful lot of damage. Yep,
there it
there's
is,
the medial.
medial phase.
So
Got
this-
10k left to do.
Yep, this nuke queued up should do it now at this point. Now with Kane's attack, this should do it. And do we have a flash? Do we have a flash? No!
Don't kill Kane. Please.
Oh no, it's a nuke counter on Yang.
Oh, Kane lives.
Or on Kane.
Oh, but
Oh, Kane at 40.
Got him.
And there it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, in chat, Silverfire has finished in second place in this seed with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 3 seconds.
Shake, rattle, and roll. Congratulations, Silverfire. That was not fun. Not a fun Zeromus fight. Nailed it.
Okay, and
Fantastic.
Silverfire will be joining us in the booth for a chat shortly, I
Outstanding.
do believe.
Meanwhile, we're going to watch Scratch Dragon take his second attempt at the Zeromus fight. Let's hope that his RNG is just a little bit better than it was last time.
Yeah, Scratch really got the short end of RNG on that one.
Kane at 40 hit points. The dream. So we got Silverfire in the booth. Silverfire's ready to rock and roll. Want to pull him in?
There we go.
Hello.
Hello, Silverfire. Congratulations.
Congratulations, my friend.
I'm pretty happy about that because I've kind of stunk it up the last couple weeks. So I finally regained my rightful place at second place, which seems to be all I ever get.
Hey, second place out of what was it, 27? It's not too shabby, Silverfire.
Oh, I'm very happy about second place. Don't get me wrong.
113.03 is not too bad on these flags here. There's a couple of things I wanted to talk to you about, actually. One of the decisions that you made that actually was a divergence from the other runners ended up being going after the Twin Harp, the Dark Elf spot early. Can you tell me a little bit about why it was that you went that direction instead of just hoofing it right through the hook?
I didn't have the hook yet. The hook was at Ordeals, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did.
So I have a
before
personal
Ordeal.
vendetta against Ordeals. Because like it's 3 bosses in a cutscene, and nobody has time for that.
Unfortunately, it was absolutely required. Thank you, Randomizer, for the 12
If I ever found Cecil, then I had an Excalibur to throw at him, but I didn't. I just rode Avenger Kane to victory.
So how nervous did you get at points during that Zeromus fight or Trainmus fight?
I wasn't really actually that nervous at all.
Oh,
It
good.
looked a little dicey, but like it was a lot less. Porum died when I took the full force Big Bang, and like Sid was an alchemist. He wasn't actually a fighter there. Let's be honest. Sid's job was not to do damage.
Well,
He's got
yeah,
a rune axe, no agility. Kane literally had 50 agility for that fight, and Sid is like at 14. His job is to throw Cure 3 potions at whoever gets nuked.
Procure 3 potions, be at 14 agility, and take a dirt nap.
Yep. So yeah, it's like Porum goes down. I'm not really like, you go in with a 1500 health Porum. You're not really. That's not your core healer. It's just like that's fine. Fusoya's up. I'll just heal with Fusoya. It'll go a little slower, but Kane is still trucking away. And then when I saw the Meteo, then I knew it was time to cast a nuke.
Absolutely. So I was actually commenting a lot in the early, the use of J items in this, your Boreas and Stardust, that sort of thing. Talk to me a little bit about how you approach shopping for items in the early game that sets you up for some of the other stuff.
So it's gotten a little different recently with the changes to the J items. All those big damage dealing J items have increased in price as balance changes.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, it's like I found a crystal armor and some other stuff that isn't like great endgame gear, and so I'm like, you know, it's just like, that's fine. I'll just sell the ice armor. I'll sell the diamond armor. I'll sell the crystal armor. I want to be able to afford those J items to power through the early bosses, especially because I knew I wanted to get Kane as early as possible when I saw that Avenger sword.
Right. When you're managing your what to sell and what to keep early game, how do you prioritize that? That's one thing that a lot of newer runners tend to ask a lot of questions about. And can you just give us your insight into this?
So I'm pretty aggressive about selling any mid-tier equipment.
Poison axe, poison
axe, you know, especially armor that doesn't increase stats.
Right, diamond armor, that sort of thing.
If it's a weapon that's better than what I currently have, I'll probably keep it. But like anything that isn't offensively oriented, I'm pretty darn likely to sell, even if it's quote unquote good defensive equipment. Like, for example, the crystal armor. That's a great example of something. It's like, yeah, it's great defensively, but does it kill things?
If I can interrupt real quick, we have two real quick duns. We have Night Dew finishing in third place with a 1:17:34, and then 17 seconds later, Kobahi finishes in fourth place.
Outstanding. Congratulations, guys. Well run.
So I'm going to guess that they also did Dwarf Castle. And otherwise, their route looked not too dissimilar from me.
I would imagine so, yeah.
I would imagine
because 4 minutes is about how long Dwarf Castle takes between fighting bosses and cutscenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, the big competition was between you and Scratch Dragon, and you guys entered the Zeromus fight probably 30 seconds apart, but
less than that.
Yeah, but Scratch Dragon got terrible RNG on his first fight and took a wipe to Zeromus.
So I didn't feel that the Zeromus fight was especially RNG based, except for the one part where I needed one of the two white mages to live through a Big Bang that was full force.
Right. Oh, and he's on the Meteo phase now, so
yeah,
should have Scratch coming up. Done.
I feel like if you're eating full damage Big Bangs early in the fight, then something has gone horribly wrong. If it's later in the fight and like you've kind of messed. Like, particularly during the phase change, I think that's where I ate my full force Big Bang. That particular transition is always a little tricky with Berserkers.
And what is it that you like to use to nerf the Big Bangs, as it were?
I will use either Nuke or Silk Webs. I don't like using spells that have cast times.
Understood. And just an update, Scratch Dragon is Dunzo with a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 21 seconds.
One thing you might have seen me do is, like, it was usually Sid's turn as the counter nuke was coming, and I was just hovering with the Cure 3 potion ready to throw it at whoever got nuked.
Absolutely, I definitely saw that. We pointed out the Cure 3 just early on and mentioned that it's pretty crucial for those nuke counters in this Zeromus fight like that. A good illustration of that.
So, if I can, before Scratch Dragon joins us here, how hard were you banging your head against, whatever hard surface you could find, at having that Avenger sword on Kane for the Mist Dragon fight? Because that just takes a lot of time, unfortunately.
I was pretty salty at myself. You saw I actually cast. I tried to cast Hold on Kane.
I caught that.
Stop on Kane successfully. I actually should have cast it on Yang, not Kane.
And with that ding, I do believe we have Scratch Dragon joining us. Scratch Dragon, congratulations on your finish. Nicely done.
Thank you. Little salty over that first Z fight.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what went specifically wrong in the first part of that first Zeromus fight.
He went too fast. He cheated. No, but in all seriousness, the first one, I didn't get a spell to to nerf the first Big Bang, and then I said, forget it. I'm not gonna try and just resurrect Rydia or Porum, which was probably in hindsight a mistake. And then I took one bad Big Bang that killed Fusoya, and I was like, all right, I got 2 Berserk people going in. Let's go.
Yes. So, Scratch Dragon, when you're preparing for the Zeromus fight, tell me a little bit about what it is that you're looking damage output out of your characters. Like, what are the main things that you're looking at?
So really, I don't know what's going through my head when I'm thinking about the Zeromus fight as I'm going through the game, because we had Tella and Sid, and I said, all right, Sid has no weapons, so that's when I decided to pick up Rydia instead, because I held on to Bahamut, and I said, you know what, I'll use Bahamut. But then I found like no rods for her, and I was there like, well, this is a slightly awkward, so I'm not going to try and over grind, because I could have picked up maybe second or third if I had finished the Z fight the first time, but I took a bad roll, so I only ended up in 5th. So like damage output, if I have Kane and the Avenger, that's a no-brainer, or Kane with white. Yang is just Yang, and then hopefully I would have like another damage dealer or 2 spellcasters, really, and then wall, and then a healer. But you know, I mean, you take what you can get in Fusoya and Porum, right?
Yeah. Silverfire did a little bit of light fighting of things to start with, but really saved most of the grinding for the grind and go mode when they got the crystal. Can you tell me a little bit about how you approach grinding as you're going through a seed?
Well, with the team that I had, I went and I said, you know what? I have Fusoya, I probably don't need to grind, and I had the Avenger before I even had to dive into Evelyn Cave. So I said, you know what? This shouldn't be a problem. I died twice, technically. So I said, you know what? These fights aren't an issue. I should be okay with that. And then I said, I'll do a couple of grind fights with the Dragoon, because the egg is weak to the Dragoon Spear. And then I'll just clean up stuff, and then if I have to, I'll find 10 items and then finish grinding and then look for the crystal. If I find the crystal before that, I'll just grind before that.
So real quick, we have the 6th and 7th place finishers finishing 6 seconds apart. Almagus gets 6th place with 124.50. Penguinator gets 7th, 124.56.
My. Congratulations for finishing that one, guy.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm thinking about when I'm grinding, especially if I have like a Kane with Sirens and a Dragoon. So I said I'll just do that if I have to. But I was just hoping I didn't have to dive into Luca or into the Twin Harp. Luckily, I decided to dive Tower, and I said, you know what? We'll fight whatever's here, and we'll get our 10th item, and we'll roll that way. It just happens to be that it happened to be that the Mist Dragon was there, and I said, okay, we'll grind, check, save in front of Luca, check Rydia's mom. If she has the crystal, good. If not, then I'll reset and go back to Luca and then do Twin Harp.
One final question that I actually have for you, Scratch. On a K1 P0 seed, where you know that the pass is going to be in an item shop, can you tell me a little bit about how you approach the shopping for items, specifically in the opening game, and how you structure breaking that up between actually going and gathering key items and characters?
Let me see if I can piece together this mumble of going through shops. So naturally, the first thing we do is we check Baron, because Baron has a ton of shops right there. And really, when I went through the shops, like I went to Baron first, then I went over to the Massian, and then I went to Troya, because the first things I'm looking for, because I don't have strong characters, we started Porum Yang. I was looking for attack items. Anything that could help me beat bosses faster at the beginning of the game, because Yang isn't strong at the beginning of the game, and Porum is, well, Porum's. So I found Borealis? Thank you, Boreas. I found Boreas and some Stardust, and I said, okay, that's good. I picked up a couple of Stardews. And then I said, all right, if I run into Bahamut, I should be okay. If I run into Gobez, I should be okay. And those are the items I'm looking for. If I just happen to find the pass while I'm looking through it, I'll either make a mental note or just buy it immediately because I have the money. And then I'll just like stop looking in shops at that point unless I'm looking for like Bacchuses or Cure 3s.
Totally. Z-Man, do you have anything?
Not for Scratch Dragon. I do want to say that Bargain Bin is finishing 8th place with a time of 1:26:32, but I think you've pretty much covered everything that we have with Scratch.
Yeah, all right. Scratch, that was a great run. Bummer about the first attempt at Zeromus, but you recovered nicely in the second one. Very solid all the way through, man.
Oh, thank you very, very much. Thanks for holding these races in. Thanks again to everyone who supports Free Enterprise.
Free Enterprise hype. All right, so now we've got Dipwood and Rexral just doing their final grinds, I think. They both have the crystal. They both have a pass, so they're pretty much in just grind and go. It's just a matter of how much they want to grind. And it looks like Dipwood is actually just going to grind HP super sky high so that Dipwood doesn't have to nerf any big bangs and he can just go ahead and eat full powered ones and heal.
Yeah, that's kind of looking like what the plan here is. Let's see, so she's gonna keep going. Wonder what the end point is here for Dipwood.
This might be anger grinding too.
It could be.
Yeah, I've been guilty of anger grinding before.
Oh,
I
yeah.
look up and it's almost 1:30 and I'm still grinding and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna melt Zeromus's face off in 2 shots.
I've done that before. It's been like, all right, screw you, Seed. Zeromus is dying, and he's dying in a blaze of fire.
See, and Rexral is actually taking care of some business right there with the inventory. It looks like the Ag Apples are being used, Soma Drops being used. This might actually be the end of Rexral's grind. Little configuration and considered it. Looks like that's the end of the grind for Rexral. Rexral is in go mode, 3 elixirs. That's really nice to have.
Yeah.
We didn't see a whole lot of elixir action with Silverfire or with Scratch Dragon. Seeing 3 elixirs for Rexral, that's going to make this Zeromus fight quite a bit easier. You can see him equipping the Dwarf Axe on Sid. Even though Sid's agility is 16, that should be plenty low for the Zeromus fight.
Yeah,
the Rune Axe may be the best weapon, but Dwarf Axe reduces the holder's agility by 5, I believe.
Right, and then since the Zeromus fight only checks agility at the beginning of the battle, what he can probably do then is switch back to the Rune Axe to get the full damage of the Rune Axe going.
Absolutely. So there's Rexral going up into go mode. It's Z time.
And Big Dunka has finished in 9th place with a time of 1:29:55.
Big Duncan, congratulations. There's the pass. It's forgotten where the pass is. There it is. Go on up. And it's time for Trainmas. So it looks like Dipwood actually did a grind up to get Sid to 28 agility, which is kind of impressive. Level 59. Looks like Sid's still the anchor for Dipwood at 28 agility, which will get it done.
Tail? Where was the pink tail?
Oh,
it looks like Dipwood does have the pink tail.
Yeah, I didn't see the pink tail.
I didn't either.
Huh.
All right. So.
Well, and there's Dipwood going up to Taraya for the. Oh no. Bringing the hovercraft along.
Bacchuses, I think, we're in Eblon.
Ah, Bacchus wines. That's right. That's right.
So he's probably going to go purchase some of them quick.
Mm-hmm. All right, here's Rexral's Zeromus fight. He starts right out with the crystal. He's not going to wait around. Yang's using it, and here's Kane.
Oh, he's buying some strength rings too.
Interesting. Okay. So you see Rexroll is hovering on Kane right now. Waiting for the name change so that he can throw down a silk web.
Or not buying Bacchus.
So here's the nuke counter. Nuke counter on Yang. That is an optimal target. Yang has the most hit points, buddy. And there's the Big Bang. So nuke directly followed by Big Bang. You know that Big Bang got nerfed. Nerfed pretty hard.
Yep. All triple digits to everybody is wonderful.
500 to Porum. So Sid drops down a Baka Swine. What's he gonna do with Yang? Yang's gonna pump out a Baka Swine himself. And here's the Avenger. Bada bing, bada boom. Berserk Kane, here we go.
Okay,
So you see Rexroll is actually gonna try to nerf this particular Big Bang. See if he gets it. He got it.
He gets it, so that'll be a nice, very nicely nerfed Big Bang there.
The nuke counter ends up hitting Kane. Again, not the worst target. Pretty decent for the hit points. And there's that Big Bang.
It shouldn't kill Kane, even with a high roll, I don't think.
Oh! Yeah, that was a little close. A little close, but he's still in there. 96 hit points. All you need is one. Or as the poker players say, a chip in a chair.
Chip in a chair. Chip in a chair.
Sid's breaking out the dwarf axe there. I don't know that Rexroll remembered to re-equip the rune axe for him. Not that it particularly matters because it's more damage multipliers that matter than it is the attack power of the weapon you got.
Very true.
There's Black Hole. That's going to negate all of the berserks that are on Yang and Sid, but it's not going to negate the berserk that's on Kane, because Kane's berserk is on the Avenger Sword.
Yeah, that's a really nice benefit there. Is you don't have Kane.
He reapplies berserk to Yang, and now you see Rexroll is just hanging out in the menu, Porum, waiting. Decided instead to just throw down a berserk. Oh, here he goes. Remembered.
Now he remembers. It's not going to make a huge difference, although I think now you're going to see Sid doing consistent 2,000 damage, I think.
Perhaps 2,000 and 2,500. Ooh, this could be really, really close. He's going for the nerf once more. He gets the nerf. He gets the nerf with the silk web.
Timing it real well, that's for sure.
Nuke counter on Kane, very optimal. As Dipwood enters the train misfight himself.
Is Kane going to survive this one?
Oh, it's going to be close.
Yep.
Oh, he survives! 1672, that's on the lower spectrum for Sid.
Meanwhile, Yang and Kane wrecking for 2,500-ish each. Very nice.
Now we got Dipwood in the opening round of the Zeromus fight. Goes ahead and nerfs his Big Bang right off the bat. Nets a nuke counter to Yang for 2k. Now you see Yang is pumping out about 4,300 damage as opposed to Rexroll's 3,200 with Yang. So we see a little bit of a higher damage output on Dipwood. That might actually close the gap a little bit.
Yeah, this is going to be close. I mean, probably about 30 seconds to a minute, probably.
Perhaps.
We'll see. Oh, we've got a bunch of finishers that I should go through quick.
Please do.
Ovok Jam, 10th place, 131.24. Gristor, 11th place, 133.14. Ravlin, 12th place, 133.29. Fizz Plays Games, 13th place, 134.26. Razzie, 14th place, 134.51. Crimson Avex, 15th place, 136.36.
Congratulations to all the runners who finished. Now we see on Dipwood's stream, Fusoya goes down.
And this is probably a good time to kind of say, unfortunately, we have had 3 forfeits from this race. Mr. Ubik, Unos, and Panzer Dave have all unfortunately forfeited from the race.
Well, that just goes to show you that this stuff is not easy. Not easy at all. So whenever I say congratulations to all the runners who finish, I mean it.
Well, I believe a couple of those say that, real life might actually get in the way sometimes.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Boy, Dipwood is just that train. Okay, Trainmus is in the medio phase for Rexroll.
Rexroll is in medio phase right now. Dipwood, Big Bang. Full powered one at that. And here we're going to see Rexroll finish it off right now. Boom! There it is. Shake, rattle, and roll. Rexroll is done with a time of 138.41. And Dipwood is in medio phase. Dipwood's about to end it. I think this victory lap time. Boom! There it is.
Wow, 20 seconds apart.
20 seconds apart.
And then right behind another 20 seconds is Great White Hope, and right behind that 4 seconds is Mecha Link.
My goodness. There are some close finishes. It looks like that grinding actually brought Dipwood real close. Real close. That was a fantastic race. Not too much time apart from each of the runners, and we got to see a lot of good side-by-side action.
Okay, Rexroll will be joining us in Discord for a minute. Dipwood has passed on an interview.
Copy that. So again, to all the runners who are out there who are doing this race today, GG's if you finished. And if you didn't finish, don't get discouraged. This game takes some practice, and it takes just a little bit of study. You can get there. Everyone can get there. Believe me, I was a dumb Muppet when I started doing this, and now I'm okay at the game. All it takes is a little time and persistence.
Well, hey, if you were dumb Muppet to start, once you find that darkness crystal, you're now a Muppet in space.
Well played, Z-Man.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
And here's Rexroll in chat. Hey, Rexroll, how you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay, good. There we are.
Yeah. Well fought.
Thank you.
You did a considerable amount of grinding just before the Zeromus fight.
I did.
Yeah, yes, you did. Can you tell me a little bit about why you chose to grind as much as you did?
Because there have been races before where I thought I had a handle on like the agility anchor and everything on Zeromus that are going, but he still crushes me, so I figure better safe than sorry. If I overlevel, then it's going to be a lot less chance that Zeromus is going to give me. So
Totally. I was noticing that you were pretty on point with those Big Bang nerfs, and chose the Silk Webs to use pretty much exclusively for that. Silk Webs and occasional nuke. What is your preferred method of nerfing Big Bang?
I'd rather use nuke, but since I didn't have a pure black mage, no Pal and Iridia in my party, Fusia's MP pool drains really fast if we use nuke. And I had a bunch of Silk Webs, and I love the item in general. So I just figured I'll go with that, and I didn't I ended up using one elixir against Zeromus, but that was just because I had an extra turn with Forum, and all my people were already berserked. I didn't really need to do anything with her at that time, so I probably could have gone through without an elixir.
Yeah, probably. But you know what? Better safe than sorry. You had 3 of them.
That's what I figured. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. At that point, I'm like, I'll just buy 3 elixirs because I don't need to buy anything else the rest of the game. So.
let's real quick go back to one of the biggest sticking points, one of the biggest brick walls in this seed, the Rubicent spot, where you had Ogopogo and Calbrena. Can you tell me a little bit about your experience fighting that spot and how you ended up getting through it?
Well, first at Ogopogo, I wiped to him once, or I reset before I wiped, because I had forgot to heal Sid up, and the double wave killed him off right off the bat. So I'm like, let's just start again. I think my levels are good enough. And then sure enough, I was able to take down Ogopogo without a problem. And then the Calbrena, it just, like, Fusio wasn't at full power yet, so I didn't have Quake. I didn't have, like, I had Lit 3 was the best AoE spell that I had. And so, like, I just had to, like, concentrate my Lit 3s on the blue dolls and to kill them off one at a time and hope my Berserk party members just didn't kill off the red dolls first. So it was a long fight. I didn't, it wasn't a great fight, but it got the job done in the end. It was just longer than I would have liked it to be.
Absolutely. Well, good run, man.
Thank
Good,
you.
solid run. Very persistent run, too.
Yeah, that was a bit of a goose hunt to find that crystal after the Mist Dragon. So
Almost literally, yeah.
And the thought, like, after I got out of the Babel just to get to the underground with the hook, and then I was like, the fastest thing to do would have been to turn around, go right back in the Babel, and go up the front. It's just bizarre how this game will treat you like that sometimes.
Absolutely. Z-Man, do you have anything for Rexroll?
No, I think you've covered it all.
Copy that. Well, Rexroll, GG's, man. GG's.
Thank you very much.
All right, so just want to say congratulations to all of the runners tonight, those that had finished and those that unfortunately couldn't for whatever issue. And thanks everybody for coming to watch this wonderful ff4 free enterprise race. But we should also thank those behind the scenes, the tie-dyed guy for giving us a wonderful restream, and Casual Geek Dave for being absolutely on top of the tracking tonight. Absolutely wonderful job. Next thing we have coming up here on the Randomania Family of Networks is a Dragon Quest SFC tournament tomorrow night at 10 p.m. I think that's going to be over on RM1. So, you have anything else to add tonight, Muppets? It was fantastic
not a whole
working
lot.
with you.
Yeah, it's nice working with you too, Z-Man, and it's nice to see these leagues featured with a bunch of really good runners on it too. And I hope that anyone who is watching this, who's thinking about getting into this, isn't discouraged by some of the difficulties, because these league flags can be very new person friendly. Go ahead, plug it in, give it a whirl, and if you've got any questions, Discord has answers.
Yes, and please come into the Discord. If you're not there, if you're thinking about doing some of these runs, please come into the Discord. It's an awesome community. We're real helpful. We don't pick on anybody that doesn't deserve it. It's wonderful community. Everybody helps everybody else. I really can't recommend it enough. I really can't.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I think we're going to send it off over to somebody else. Isn't that right?
We are. We're going off to my personal friend and personal friend of the Randomania family. We're going over to Skybills, who is doing an Ocarina of Time randomizer. She has picked that up recently and is absolutely addicted to it.
Sounds fascinating. I know I'm going to be there. I hope you all will. Everyone, have a good night, and thank you for joining us with some free enterprise fiesta.
Have a great night.